Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. This is Jay-Zan. This is what's Hands of Fate. Hands of Fate is a card game, sort of. It's not really a card game, but it's like themed like a card game. It's a dungeon crawler game where you are a warrior hero, and you are striving to beat this mysterious card dealer's hand, basically. It's really a unique game. It's very
The challenges become even more difficult.
unique, I guess that's the best way to say it. It's just your classical dungeon crawler where you go around, you collect the equipment, you collect items, you collect rooms in a dungeon, you collect quests and missions and all that sort of stuff. And these different things that you're collecting in the game, from equipment to missions and stuff, are cards in the game. And let me get into the game and I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's real hard to just to explain. I'm, as you can see, a little over halfway through the game, and this game starts off real easy. These first couple dungeons, because these are basically dungeons, each of these, with a boss at the end. After you beat basically your first three, you get new challenges that increase your power and the enemies, and each time they get stronger. And at this point, this game is really very challenging. This is early access, so there are bugs to be seen and had, and I've experienced some. And if you are one to have been watching some of my live streams of this game, and you'll have noticed some of the bugs, but they're pretty few, but they're game breaking, unfortunately. Like crash bugs and stuff like that. Stuff that, like, you lose progress. So it kind of sucks, but again, it's early access, so it's not that big of a deal. Alright, so this is the game. Let me get back out of here. We'll select this one, I guess. Yeah, so these are your stages. You start off Jack of Dust. It gives you no challenges in the new ones, but basically as you do missions, it unlocks cards, which again are your equipment and quests, and everything to do in the game, from curses to blessings to enemy types to just everything that you'd expect to find in an RPG. And yeah, so at this third part, I'm the Queen of Plague, which if I beat it, I unlock 3 new encounter cards and 2 equipment cards. And then there's challenges that the different missions have that are chance encounters, basically. There's a chance for me to find 4 Six of Plagues, which are groups of plague monsters. And then Cursed Gambler, which is a event that can be good but is usually bad, and those are not changeable. And then you have a curse. Whenever a player loses a curse, they also lose a random item, and that's with that one. But like an earlier stage, like King of Dust here, it's again, it's 6 of Dust. There's 5 of those, and then there's ambushes, and whenever the player finishes combat, they lose money per 15 health. So each mission has different setbacks and benefits. So we're gonna do the one that I'm at right now, which I've lost probably like 30 times. And you get knighted with the game's like.
She waits for you, patient, but ultimately destructive.
So basically, you have a deck builder. The earlier stages have less cards, but the further you get, the more cards are required to have in your deck to do the mission. For instance, the left side are my equipment cards. I can choose of a ton of things that I want to have a chance of finding in the dungeon, and some of them have new thing, or some of them have benefits, some of them have drawbacks, and you can only have, you have to have 20 in this mission. You have to have 25, so you can't have just like 5 items that you really like that you will find for sure. You have to kind of randomize it in that sort. So I'm gonna get rid of this. When you get a new card, it won't tell you what it is until you find it in the dungeon, but you can equip it. But the equipment all have pretty interesting things. It's not just more health and more armor. Things do different things. Like this one gives immunity to healing effects, but it's really good at durability. And then like these cuffs here increase movement speed. Well, do something more unique. The skills that you can get, like during combat, I press bumper to turn invisible, basically, which is pretty cool too. I mean, the items in this game are all pretty cool and very interesting and unique. And if you like dungeon crawlers, these items that you find in this game are all really cool. It's not just stat bonuses. There is one thing though, you don't level up per se. You do level up in regards to the items that you can find, but your character doesn't level up himself. Sorta. In the game I'll explain more on that, but the persistent level ups don't carry over. So let me equip. I'd like to have as many new items as I can, because this game has a ton of unlocks. Like, if you like unlocks, this game's got a hell of a lot of them. You get unlocks by completing missions in the dungeons, which are these things. These are the different encounters you can have. On the bottom, there's down here you see how there's a red icon on the bottom and like the yellow icon. That means there's the different types of cards that you can unlock if you complete the cards challenge. And the cards challenge is an event that's within the game, and we'll be encountering lots of events when we get into the game itself. And you can equip things that you like and things that you don't like. A lot of them have drawbacks and a lot of them have benefits. Some of them outweigh the other, and sometimes it's worth just putting just a monster in there because you know what's going to happen, like some Ratman hunting or something like that. And these all do different things. You'll see them in the game. When there's a lock on there, it means you can't change it for this mission. So I have to have the Queen of Plague in the mission because that's the goal of the mission, Queen of Plague. So yeah, these are all the different encounters, and we'll go. You'll see what the encounters are when we get into it. And in this aspect, the game is different every time you play, from the randomizing of the random encounters that you get to the new ones that you find, to the just switching out of your deck, which you can find. And there's quests and stuff that you find that make you move around. So this is how we're going to set up the game.
Queen of Plague, terror of mankind. You will not be the one to bury her.
The voice acting in this game is really good. It works really well with the game. All the whole sound fidelity is good. I like the sound effects in this game. It's not hokey or anything, and the voice acting is very clear and works well with the theme of the game. Also, the graphics are good. So that's the aura that I start, and these are the blue ones are the ones that are your challenges that are in the game that you can't change out or anything. So it's randomizing the map now, and you can speed this part up, which I will actually. Alright, so this is the dungeon. This is the first floor. Right now it's very straightforward. I can only go straight. But later they open up. Sometimes there's forks, and sometimes there's just big clumps of cards to go to, and these are basically the rooms of your dungeon. You can go back, forward, left, right, however you want to go, but you have to move. So I found a Lizard Dome, and this one, every card you hit has a different theme. Like this one, I was captured by lizardmen and brought before the king. I must choose who to fight in their underground arena with none of your equipment. So the mission is to fight one of these two with no equipment for a reward. And so basically the way I explain this game, or I visualize this game, is I'm playing a card game as somebody, and then when I enter a mission, I'm like entering their mind, their imagination of what they visualize the game to be. That's kind of how I feel. Alright, so we're gonna fight the Four of Skulls, because they're a lot easier than the Four of Scales. So when you get into combat, you actually go into an action style of the game. You're actually controlling a character and fighting it like an action RPG. It's not just a dice generator. And it has a fairly decent combat system. There's a few things I don't like a lot, but there's dodge rolling, there's counterattacks, sort of like Arkham City's counterattack system, if you've played that game, where it'll flash up and you can, I don't have a shield, it'll be a flash and you can like deflect attacks and counter ranged attacks and stuff. I timed that wrong, got shot. Alright. Kill that one. And we completed this encounter. And that's it. That's how encounters go, basically. You have your setup, your encounter, which lasts sometimes quickly, sometimes not. So I got 3 game cards, which can be from health, food, gold, or equipment, or any positive effects, basically.
I'm sure you are grateful for that.
So I found
These are the sort of
a piece of
exchanges
armor,
I
and I
find
got
most
a ring
promising.
that gives me extra damage when they're stunned, and gold. And money. So, as you're traveling through the dungeon, you lose 1 food each step, and you heal 5 for each step as well, so it converts food to health. And so you have to, in the longer dungeons, you have to manage your food, because it definitely gets scary later on. When you run out of food, you lose 10 health per tick. You can buy food at shops and stuff. You can find it just like I did there through the luck of the draw and all that sort of stuff. Alright, so we have the river. This one's a random one. I can either attempt to cross the river or turn back, which right here, I mean, I have no choice. I have to cross it. So I have 2 successes, a failure, and a huge failure. Your different failure choices increase on the problems. Like, if I would get just 1 failure, I might take a little damage, but if I do a huge failure, I might take a lot of damage. Okay, so I found some minstrels. Alright, so I can do a bunch of different things for this quest. That little icon on the left there means that they have a token. So if I do something right enough for them, they'll give me a token. But let's see. Why I'd like to request a song. Alright, they play me a ballad about a happy warrior who goes on a great victory and everlasting glory. And I can draw a card for that.
The gods look upon
I got a
you
blessing.
favorably.
Anytime I kill with an axe, I gain health. Pretty cool. Alright, so I can pay them with food, pay them with gold, or pay them with nothing. So I'll give them half my gold because that's what I have least of. Food is way more important than gold. Alright, so if I gotta find the healers, the minstrels again later in the dungeon to get their coin. That's what it seems like to me, at least. Alright, so then we have Strangers in Shadows. On a dark night, on a dark, moonless night, down the lonely road, you encounter a hooded stranger. Greetings, friend. I'm in need of some sustenance. He wants my health for gold. Sure, I'll give you a little bit of health for my gold, or a little bit of the other. And that's all I'm gonna give you. He'll keep sucking your blood. He's probably a vampire or something. Alright, so we made it through the first floor, and we're going to the next floor.
One more step down, and we may see the end of this, or another set.
Alright, so I can either go up or left. The stairs could be right here, or it could be down here. We're going to do this one just in case. Alright, so I stepped on a portal, which will teleport me to the next floor. That's one that I can add to my deck, and I did that. Alright, so I found Hero's Remains. Alright, past the funeral, it's obvious from the size of the procession that they were a great adventurer. I'm approached by the cleric. Will you please take his belongings? So this one is a moral choice. I can take his belongings, which I will, and I get his sword, and I get his shield to bring to the family.
The deeper you go,
And I get a curse.
the harder things
If I don't bring it
become.
to the family in 5 steps, I lose 50% of my max health. So that's a permanent reduction of my health in this dungeon. So those are good weapons, or I can keep them, or I can return them. So that's something I can think about while I'm heading that way. So all right, so that's kind of the game. My problems with this game is there's a lot of loading in regards to setting up. Every time you enter a battle, you have this setup phase, which isn't bad for like the first like 5 or 6 times you do it, but after you play for a while, it just feels like forever. It feels so long that you're sitting there waiting for the setup to happen.
This token will unlock more cards.
Alright, so we're gonna fight the Lich.
Encounter.
This is actually a pretty hard fight. Alright, so the loading I'm talking about is this right here, where every time you enter a battle, it's this setup here. So it doesn't seem that long, but that's about 10 seconds. And every time you do that, you're getting the combat a lot in this game. And after a bunch of times, it's like, come on, I'd like to skip forward. And that really should be an option, to skip that setup cinematic. Alright, Liches. Guys are dead. Oh, I was gonna counterattack that. Damn it, Lich. Oh shit. Fight it like Zelda on Super Nintendo. I'll knock your fireballs back at you. Oh shit. And then missions have traps like that. That will mess you up. Alright, we killed it. But yeah, so I really enjoy this game. I think the game is fun, but it's really hard to play for a long time straight because of the loading times. So I got 2 game cards, and I got the token. Awesome.
Protection is a virtue, but more is not always better.
Yeah, because I'm going to return that shield.
Take the token.
The hero's shield. Alright, so that token is now a permanent bonus. Once I win or lose, I will now get a new card. Or more than one card, depending on that token. Devil's Wager. This is usually hard. Oh, yeah, I have no chance. This one is, I have to fight the guy with 2 health, like 2 hits, and these mages spam me with ranged attack. There's no way. If I do that, I'm dead. So we're gonna skip this fight. And then here's the shop. But yeah, my drawbacks, the drawbacks of the long loading times versus the fun of the game, don't outweigh it. I think this is a game that's worth playing if you like dungeon crawlers, and they're just adding more to it as time goes along. I find this game really fun. The cards, it's not really a card game. As you can see, it's more of a dungeon crawler than it is a card game. But the cards kind of just, I almost want to say they should have themed it differently, instead of being cards, being something else, because people think it's a card game. They don't want to play it because it's a card game, but it's not a card game, basically. So anyway, yeah, this is a fun game, and it's challenging, and you can get a pretty good amount of time in it, and there's an endless mode as well that you can play that I haven't unlocked yet because I haven't beaten single player, but I can see that being a lot of fun too. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. This is JZen. If you want to buy this game, I'm going to put a link in the description to the store page. Check it out. It's pretty cool. Thank you for watching. See you next time.